Thank you for downloading and listening to West Box Score. And again, it's the Lucha Royale special. This time it's not hosted by Donald the Bot. This time you got Alex Gonzalez here with you. And it's not going to be a Lucha Royale this time. It's not going to be all four of us. It's just going to be a 1v1, one-on-one. Myself and Rick Esparza on the other side of the ring. What's up, Rick?
Yo, what's going on?
Oh, man, everything is going good. This week has been nutty. Yes, it has been nutty, to say the least. But before it got really turned on its head, I didn't care what was going on because we were treated to 2 good nights of just great wrestling, man. It was a good experience of New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 15, and it was great because it was a great escape, a nice little distraction from what already has been happening throughout the world. You know, it was like a nice little escape because that's what pro wrestling is, right? It's like this fun, you know, storytelling and real life anime. So it's just a fun little escape. And New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 15 came through for me. I don't know, right when I needed it. A nice little escape. So let's backtrack a little bit and tell everybody what New Japan Wrestle Kingdom is, Rick.
Pretty much, it is their WrestleMania. Every year, it's always on the same day. It's January 4th. Doesn't matter what day it lands on. It's always January 4th. And it's pretty much a 2-day event most of the time. And yeah, it's where everything goes crazy. It's all the storylines pretty much kind of end there. And you start starting to figure out, okay, what's going to happen next?
It's in the Tokyo Dome, first of all.
Yeah.
Like, that needs to be said. Like, it's in a big stadium, baseball stadium over there in Tokyo, Japan. I mean, this is before, around the time that WWE started doing WrestleManias at big stadiums, right? I think the first Wrestle Kingdom back in 2007 is what I was researching before this, because I went down a rabbit hole because I started watching Wrestle Kingdoms back at Wrestle Kingdom 9. But you were already a fan, right? How long have you been a fan of Wrestle Kingdom and New Japan?
Well, I was like a fan like 2 years before that. So that I ended up like watching Wrestle Kingdom 7.
Oh, okay.
That's when I started following it. It was one of those things where I was like, my buddy was telling me, all right, have you tried out this? There's like Japanese wrestling that looks pretty cool. It's kind of weird to follow because there wasn't actually English announcers at that time. So you were like, okay. And then, but the thing was though, the style was completely different. Like the first match that I was watching was like Yugi Nagata versus Minoru Suzuki, which is pretty much, they were beating the hell out of each other. And that's where I found out about strong style. I was wait, what the hell? I'm like, they are beating the crap out of each other. And it's one of those things where I first kind of found out about that whole, I think we talked about it last time in the Lucha Royale, was how they're beating the hell out of each other. There's like a spot in the middle where they kind of like pump each other up. But to me, I never saw that in WWE or WCW or any of that. There's no such thing as like they go in the middle of the ring and just start, throwing fists at each other or throwing elbows at each other. It was nothing like that. I was like, what the hell?
So my first instance of seeing what strong style was Makabe versus Ishii. And it's just such and they were wrestling for the never open weight title. And these two guys are just these small, compact, yet muscular Japanese dudes who are just pummeling on each other and taking like real punishment. Well, it looks, deceiving. It looks real, but it's just so well worked that like these guys are beating the hell out of each other, and the ref just go like literally points to the center of the ring. Keep going, keep smacking the shit out of each other. Like, what the heck, man? And it's just so awesome and it's just very, very intense, to say the least, coming from a WWE lifer like myself to see this New Japan style. And it was just incredible, man. From there, I was hooked. Wrestle Kingdom 9 is where I started, and I've been watching ever since. And I think, to be honest, why I started watching was listening to the Jim Ross podcast. And Jim Ross talking about I am going to commentate Wrestle Kingdom 9. It's going to be available on pay-per-view, and that's really what it came down to for me to access New Japan, is the accessibility of it. It was finally on a pay-per-view outlet. I could just pay the $50 or whatever it was to watch it on a cable provider, and I remember mentioning it to you, Rick. I'm like, hey man, have you heard of this New Japan? And you're like, yeah, I've been watching it for the past couple of years. So I got to ask, how were you watching it before?
I was watching it online. There was a couple of spots where I saw on Reddit, and they're like, all right, here's a couple of videos you can check out. And then I started getting some torrent things from one of my buddies, like, oh, we ripped this video from over here. Yep. Then there's some couple things. So it was still the time of when torrent was a little more, I guess it's not accessible, prevalent. But it was a little more used than it. Not like now. Torrents are still now a thing, but it's not really talked about. It's like before it was like, oh yeah, you have to download stuff. Now it's like, all right, you gotta download everything. It's perfectly fine.
Now it's, where's it streaming? Where's that? Give me that. Yeah, give me the link for the stream. I mean, kids today don't know the struggle of having to wait for that download.
Oh man, the kids don't know the struggle of actually have to get tapes. Right? I don't know if you remember trading tapes.
But the good old Frankensons, right?
Yeah.
Good old Frankensons, man. Going there, getting the. I mean, look at somebody like PWG still lives off of that, doing the DVD trades, DVDs and Blu-rays. That's how they make their money. So, man, Wrestle Kingdom. I remember we watched Wrestle Kingdom, you and I, live at 2:00 in the morning, man. Yep. Well, it was this time it felt like on a Friday, Saturday, so it's not like we're complete losers, because that was how we spent our Saturday night. Watching Japanese wrestling at 2:00 in the morning. Now we're not losers at all. We're the coolest guys in the city of Anaheim at that time.
Oh man, they were the coolest kids ever.
Yeah, man, we're watching new Japanese wrestling, dude. Why aren't you? Where are you at? And I was just looking back.
You at a bar getting drunk with the other dumb people. Ooh.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, you're so cool.
Exactly.
We're at home watching wrestling sober. I think we were totally sober for that show too. I don't know if it would have been cooler if we were actually drinking, but either way. I remember really watching because of Jim Ross and also the Young Bucks, man. The Young Bucks, I'm a huge mark for the Young Bucks. I mean, it goes back to the PWG days and even some of the Frankensons days, man. I can remember seeing them at some small shows out there. So it's just Young Bucks, man. So that's what got me into it. And I'm going to be fully honest. Once AEW got started these past couple of years, I've fallen off a little bit of following New Japan. It's been a little bit of it's still a bit of a hassle to watch their shows, because you have to subscribe to NJPW World, and it's there's no apps. You have to Chromecast it, so it's a bit of an effort, like to watch it. You can't just pop on an app on the Roku or your smart TV like you can with maybe a WWE Network or AEW just being on a big channel. You could just DVR it in pay-per-view. So it's a bit of a struggle, but it's worth it. So Wrestle Kingdom 15 happened this week. Rick, I know you checked it out. What are your thoughts? We got to go night one, first of all. And night one, that first match, the opener was a strong one. I felt.
It was a really good one. It was the Rambo, their version of a kind of Rumble.
Yeah, I always enjoy these, man. I always enjoy these New Japan Rumbles, because you never know who's going to show up, and it's usually a fun little random person, but these are just fun. So what did you think of the New Japan Rumble?
I thought it was really good. I mean, they got a couple of people from pretty much all of the stables, because right now there's pretty much in New Japan it's Chaos, there's Suzuki-gun, there's Bullet Club, there's Los Ingonables. So there's a couple of them out there, and most of them had somebody from there. So it was a 21 match. It was really good. I thought it was fun. Chase Owens was, because if you didn't follow before that, he was always trying to say, I'm going to be the first one and I'm going to be the last one out, and because he's really wanted to do it since a while back. So it was fun. I thought it was fun. It was one of those things where, when you look at the older kind of guys like Toa and Tonemaru, Honma, he's kind of okay, they're kind of moving a little slow, but it was one of those things where, you know what, it's cool to see them again, do the whole little flying headbutt off the freaking second rope and everything, the old school style that Honma always did. It was always fun to see that. I liked the end though. I thought the end was funny to me. I don't know if you
Because
want to already say what the end of it was.
Yeah, please. We're breaking down all the matches. So Toriano is a comedic character, right? Like he's always hawking his DVDs as he's going to the ring. Buy my DVDs, buy my merch, and he's just hilarious. His facial expressions are comedic gold. He never wants to actually work a match. He does his best not to take any bumps, which I think is hilarious too. No. And as he's going to the ring for the Rumble, they realize, okay, he's actually the fourth person who's going to come in, and there's four competitors. The final four are going to wrestle the following night. So he ends up winning essentially the Rumble before he gets in it. I thought that was a cool touch.
Yeah, you guys have to remember with the Rambo, it's a little different though. Usually here it's the Royal Rumble, the last man surviving, but with the Rambo, it's the last four, and then the last four go on to night 2. And then they're the ones that wrestle for the King of Pro Wrestling trophy, which Yano won the last year. Which he kind of did. He won last year, and he kind of did his usual thing to win the match. So that's why if you notice, Fale was so pissed off. Bad Luck Fale was one of the final four that he wanted his revenge on him. So it was funny to see him kind of like, Chase Owens and Bad Luck Fale were already waiting for him, like, come on, get in. But he already advanced. They took out everybody else. They pretty much took out the young Cubs kind of fast, the young Lions, which was kind of the last 3 that kind of came in. So it's like they were trying to get him to come in, but he was already like, wait, I don't need to go in. I already won. I'm in going into the next day. So he's like, he just walked out with this freaking trophy from last year, and he's all like, all right, I'm in. Yeah. And then he just walks back. It's like so typical of Yano. It's just so great.
He is hilarious, man. He's fun to watch on New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Next match after that was Hiromu Takahashi taking on Infantasmo, and the winner of this match was going to take on the following night. So these guys had to work double duty. Whoever won was going to wrestle the junior heavyweight champion the following night on night 2. And both of these guys, one Hiromu is the best of the Super Junior 27 winner, and Fantasma is Super J Cup winner. So I love that New Japan does these tournaments too, man, like middle of the year, because obviously Wrestle Kingdom is the big culmination of their big events, but throughout the year they have junior heavyweight tournaments. They have, tag team tournaments, and then, of course, the big G1 tournament, which is the heavyweight championship contender. Whoever wins that month-long tournament is going to go on to face the heavyweight champion at Wrestle Kingdom. So, like, these tournaments matter. It's just so great how New Japan treats all the events that, like, they matter. So it's great that they do this. So that way they spotlight competitors that way. And this match, Hiromu Takahashi and Fantasma, man. First off, Hiromu coming back a year now. Has it been a year or a few months?
About a year, yeah. Almost a year.
He's come back from a serious injury where it looked like he legit broke his neck. What kept him out of action, I think, for about a year, maybe a year and a half or so.
I think it was about a year, yeah, close to a year. It was pretty bad. Yeah, it was pretty
just
bad.
The emotion of seeing him wrestle still. It's pretty cool as a fan of his to see he's not slowing down. He still does that reckless style of a junior heavyweight, just a lot of aerial attacks and just reckless abandon. So I'm glad he's healthy, first of all, and that he's not changing up his style after that career-threatening injury. And I learned this is my first time seeing Infantasmo. I don't know if you're familiar with him, but he looked good, man. He walked on the top rope, in the corner of the top rope, walked to the center of the rope, and did a moonsault out to the rampway as Takahashi was on the outside. So I thought that was I'm always impressed by walking the top rope, man, without the assist of somebody's hand, like all of the Undertaker, know. So it's just impressive whenever that's done. So. What did you think of this match?
It was great. It was one of those matches where I knew it was going to be good because Takahashi is always a good wrestler. Always puts on a great show. And then Fantasmo, pretty much, I didn't know that much about him, but I knew that he was actually a really good wrestler because he won the Super J Cup. So I'm like, all right, you have to be a pretty damn good wrestler to still win the Super J Cup. And looking back, I followed the story a little bit. This was like a match that was supposed to kind of happen beforehand, but El Fantasma got hurt, so he wasn't able to actually go to the best of the supers. He wasn't able to go into that one. So this is a match I was kind of waited for a little bit because they knew that El Fantasma was going to be really good against, Takahashi, and they pulled out everything. They were flying everywhere. Fantasma was doing all the pretty much almost every single finisher or signature from former Bullet Club members, which was kind of cool to see. He was doing all of them, and he was going to try to do the freaking the one wing thing.
Yeah, in Fantasmo Bullet Club, and throwing a little nod to all the former Bullet Club leaders, with the Styles Clash, the V-Trigger at one point, right?
Yeah. He did the V-Trigger. He was trying to do, like I said, the one wing and angel. And man, it was fun. It was so much fun. And it was a great story told too, because he was working on Takahashi's arm all through the match, kind of just pretty much selling it that he's going to mess up his arm. And it's like, oh man, you're trying to see what's going to happen next, because either of these guys, whoever wins, has to wrestle the right next night. You have to wrestle right after that. So it's like, all right, and you just, you're going to defend your title, or who's going to challenge him for the title, for the junior heavyweight title. And I'm like, man, this guy looks pretty roughed up, because El Fantasma did not stop that arm, and it looked, he sold it pretty bad. That he made it look like it was broken, and it was just like, oh my god. So it was great to see.
That's what's great about the New Japan. They really focus on the athletic storytelling. I have an injury, but I'm gonna battle through it. And the next night, the competitor who they're wrestling against is going to focus on that, and they'll do their best to protect it. These little subtleties are so awesome. How New Japan, does their booking, which as a big wrestling mark, I can appreciate, as I'm sure you can too, Rick.
Oh yeah, so much fun. It's one of those things where what's going on and what's going to happen in a sense, but you still fall into the trap. You just still are sold into it. You're like, oh my god, he's so hurt. And then later on, you kind of like, not really. He was able to still do moves. He was still able to move that hand really well, but yeah, whatever. It's still fun.
We know zombies aren't real, but yet we still watch The Walking Dead. I mean, come on, that's what we do. We make us believe, make the makeup look good, make the characters, give a damn, and that's why we're watching. That's why we're watching wrestling, dude. Come on, That's why we're here. And so next was the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Title match. Man, Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi, man, I did not realize they were the champs. Once again, I've been on sabbatical from watching New Japan here, and of course Bullet Club here representing again Tangaloa and Tamatanga, dude. Man, they're still doing that thing. God, man, still doing the damn thing, man. What do you think of this new Tamatanga with clean shaven?
Yeah, I was actually about to bring that up. It looks weird. I've seen him for so long with the beard and the kind of the longer hair, and it's like, okay. I mean, he's a good looking guy, so I mean, he could pull it off, but at the same time, it's like,
okay, Rick's getting ideas. He's gonna cut his own beard. Don't do it, man.
No, that's not happening until later on. I already said I'll do it. I mean, you guys probably don't know, but I've had my beard for like, what is going 15 years, 16 years?
Yeah,
I haven't
something
shaved.
like that,
I've
man.
trimmed it. I've trimmed it down, but I've never really shaved it. So everybody doesn't even know. Nobody really knows how my face looks other than my like immediate family. And I tell everybody it's gonna take like 10 years off my freaking face. I'm just gonna look like a baby, but not a pretty baby though. Like like
a baby nonetheless, a young baby nonetheless. But you're gonna probably do it just to get that extra strength the way Tama has, because they got the win here. They were champions again, which is probably like, it feels like their 15th time winning the championship now.
No, it's their 7th time, and they're actually now the record holders for the most times to win the tag team championship, the IWGP.
Obviously, I'm being an ass and saying 15 times. It feels like forever. But what I love is New Japan. actually keeps track of these things because they do matter. And you just spat out that stat, the 7th time record, record breaking, because they matter. They do matter. This is like the WWE, like, oh, wins and losses. Look at, he's won. They don't care. Like, it's 50-50 booking all the time. But in New Japan, all these things do matter. Like them, especially at Wrestle Kingdom, these are the biggest, matches of the night, biggest matches of the year rather. And that's why all these stats matter. Like, that third, and like even this, looking at the card, this was Zack Sabre Jr.'s and Taichi's 3rd title defense attempt. Like, all those things matter, like them being able to defend the titles, how many times they've done that, and all this. And we're gonna get into title defenses and why they matter in this next match, which was the IWGP US Heavyweights right to challenge contract match. So Kenta is the current holder of this briefcase for the right to challenge the IWGP US Heavyweight Champion. Who is the current IWGP US Heavyweight Champion, Rick?
Well, right now it's Jon Moxley. So, yeah, there's a whole thing where, obviously he's in the States. He's not in Japan. And with COVID happening, there's not really much of him going over there. And maybe a little bit has to do with his wife, too. She's pregnant. But yeah, they're setting up that. So Kenta's been kind of holding it down kind of for the US title over there by having this briefcase, kind of like a Money in the Bank kind of briefcase over there, but except it's just for this title, not for any other title. So, But Kenta's been doing good. He defended it 3 to 4 times already too, something like that. And
fourth time. This was his 4th time. And before this match, it was cool to see Jon Moxley put a little video package together saying, whoever does hold that challenge briefcase, I'm coming for you. He's like, no, it's not the other way around where the challenger is coming for the champion. Like, no, the champion is coming for the contract holder, because Jon Moxley is such a nutcase, which he's so great at playing that gimmick, right? As this lunatic fringe. Yeah, nod to the old guy he used to be, but he really is this unhinged guy, Jon Moxley, unstable Jon Moxley. He's just awesome. But so that video played before Kenta defeated Kojima, which was a great match, man. That was I'm impressed by how really good Kenta worked.
Yeah, Kenta looks like he can work any style. He can do the high flying, he can do the brawler, he can do like more of the impact. And Kojima's not really that much of a high flyer, but it was still a great match told. It was just 2 guys beating the hell out of each other, and Kenta just kind of trying to push Kojima to its limits. Like, come on, let's do it. Come on, let's do it. And it was so much fun to watch.
Yeah. Right. Kenta defeated Kojima for the 4th title defense of the contract, which is now a record. Nobody's actually defended the actual US heavyweight title 4 times. So that's an interesting stat.
Kenta's pretty much the interim, but has been the more reigning defending US
That's
champion.
Such an odd stat. And where will you get that stat other than New Japan? You'll never get that stat over in WWE, man. So awesome.
Well, maybe with Sami Zayn, I guess, if you want to go that way with the whole Sami Zayn Intercontinental. He hasn't really lost it. He's the real, but I think he lost it already. Actually, I think he lost it to Big E.
Yeah, he did. You're right.
Yeah.
Right. So we keep up with WWE still, but right now we're focused on Wrestle Kingdom 15 here. So the next match was Hiroshi Tanahashi, the ace. Oh man, taking on Great Okan once again. My first time. I love this Wrestle Kingdom because I got to see new wrestlers I haven't seen before. Great Okan being another one of them, and I could swear I recognize him from being a young boy not even 2 or 3 years ago.
No, yeah, he's fairly new. He kind of got picked up by there's a new stable in New Japan called the Empire.
Yes, with
Will Ospreay, and he got picked up, and now he's the Great Okan, and he's great. He's a amateur wrestler background guy, so. That's why when you first saw the match, he was kind of going to the mat, trying to do like leg trips and everything like that. To me, it was a style that kind of helped Tanahashi. The whole thing with Tanahashi, he's been wrestling for a good while already. He's already up in age. Yeah. I'm trying to remember how old he is. I think he's like mid 30s or late 30s. I'm trying to remember.
At least.
But it's one of those things where he's been doing it for so long, and he's been doing like you said, he's the ace, so he's been on the top freaking matches, some pretty tough matches for a good while. And it was kind of good to see him do like a regular match, not for anything, but to kind of bring up this new person, kind of
Right.
like sell out to this new guy, to this new kid, to make him look strong. And dude is strong. And it still make himself look good though. He still did the whole everything good.
Right.
He did high fly flow. He's doing all his great moves that he does, but you can kind of tell he doesn't have that same step as he used to.
I guess in sports, pro sports term, you would say he's obviously lost a step or two. He doesn't beat the defenders like he used to back in the day. He's got to work a little extra harder, change up his strategy, which is great to see. And I love the way the commentators there are very much like, what does this mean? What does this loss mean for Tanahashi? He's going to have to hang it up. And it's just kind of, once you start hearing that, like, no, I don't want him to lose. Like, maybe he should lose to this young guy. But no, I don't want him to.
It's kind of like actually like the Undertaker on WWE. He's been there for a while. He's one of the greats, and he always works well with others. So you just want him there. You know you can see you're gonna see a great match if you hear Tanahashi's gonna be gonna be on the card. You're like, all right, it's gonna be awesome. So now you kind of see him not there. He's still there, but not there. And you want to root for the old guy. You want to root for him and keep on going. Make the shows that he always does. It's just how he's always done it.
Because he's still our guy. We met that guy. We had a meet and greet with him when the New Japan came to Long Beach, and that was so awesome when New Japan came out to Long Beach for the first time ever. I feel like this was back 3 years ago now, 4 years ago maybe. It's been a minute.
Around there. I don't remember when, but it was like the first line I got into. Everybody wanted to go see Kenny Omega. Everybody wanted to see the Young Bucks, and I was like, no, I want to see Tanahashi. I know I could. I've seen Kenny Omega at freaking PWG. I've seen the Young Bucks at PWG. It's like, how the hell am I going to see Tanahashi? He's not going to be on PWG. He's not going to do ROH or anything like that, where I'm going to see him somewhere around here. I was like, hell no. So that's the first guy I want to go see. I got the dumbest picture too, smiling like just such a huge mark. Yeah, it was fun.
Because we're huge Marks for him, dude. We are. I mean, it was so cool. He let me hold the belt, man. That was the coolest thing.
I know, yeah. You were able to hold the belt. I didn't even hold it, man. You were smart. You asked. I was like just next to him, all like, oh my god, it's so cool. Yeah, I was like, damn it,
extra mark points for me.
Yeah, I was like, I should have asked him, damn it.
But our boy, Tanahashi got the win there, and it's so great with New Japan is even in the loss though for Great-O-Khan, he still looked good, but it's also gonna matter in the long run because that's like one of those things where I have to avenge my Wrestle Kingdom defeat. That's gonna always be a long-term storytelling later, which I would not be surprised if they meet down the road again. He's like, I want to avenge my Wrestle Kingdom loss to you because it means so much more than any other loss at any other venue or any other event. So this is just great. I'm telling you, it's going to be another great long-term story that we're being told here between these two. So it's awesome how New Japan works that way.
Well, I hope so.
Yeah, I think we will. And like I said, to echo your point, I hope so too. And speaking of long-term storytelling, the next match here, the co-main event of the night, Kushika Okada versus Will Ospreay. Oh man, dude, for me, I mean, man, I'm not gonna say match of the night, but it was close until the main event happened. But man, up to this point, this was match of the night, and wow, Will Ospreay has just grown so much as a competitor and his repertoire of moves. And it was just so impressive to see Okada go back and forth with him and just kind of let them both, tell their story, in the ring there as just only the two brothers, brother betrayal story that's being told between Okada and Ospreay. And it's just you get so into this match. What did you think of this, Rick?
Oh man, it was to me it was like a 5-star match. It was fantastic. It was like one of those stories that you were just saying. Will Ospreay was brought in by Okada. It was like, oh yeah, this is the guy that's gonna be in full Chaos. He was in Chaos before. He's the one that's gonna be bringing up chaos for the junior weight. You know, he's going to be my guy for the junior weight class. And then later on, over and over, you know, people get bigger and he wants to move into the heavyweight. But the thing is, he always felt like he was in the shadow of Okada. And then there was just a turn. It was a turn that was going to happen. But the thing was, you expected it, but you didn't know how Ospreay was going to actually go against Okada, because Okada's, dude, he's every single match he pretty much does. It's a 5-star match. It's a great match. So, you know, all right, what can he bring to the table? But he brought it. It was just great. It was so much fun to watch. That spot where he was throwing him over on the chair, on the tables, where he just freaking suplexed them into the table. I was like, holy crap. I'm like, dude, they're actually going at it.
Man, it was super impressive. I mean, it was the longest match of the night, actually longer than the main event, just because it only by like about 5 minutes, but those 5 minutes matter because it's being time kept, you know, and it's just kind of just weird. You know, if it goes over 30, we're seeing a classic here. And it's just 35-41. And then I guess the story being told here, I never seen the money clip before that. The submission hold that Okada just started using recently, last couple years. And it's $1 million dream. It looks like the $1 million, but I love that he calls it the money clip, which is a funny, like, kind of, is it an homage? Is it not really? It more fits him as the rainmaker, the money rainmaker.
I think
it really does fit him.
I think it's a little both, honestly. I think it's a little both.
It's just so hilarious that's what his favorite submission hold is. But he didn't finish Ospreay with that. He finished him with the rainmaker. The announcers kept saying he brought it back, that he hasn't been using it lately. And just Okada's drop kicks, man, are such a thing of beauty. Just amazing.
Dude, it's so crazy for him to just be, you know, vertical, just straight up, just jumping, and he hits you right on the head. Every single freaking drop kick is your shoulders and above. It's not the chest. It's not like really low where they're barely hitting the knees. Every single drop kick. And he can drop kick you when you're on top of the freaking ropes. He'll be able to drop kick you all the way up there and get a clean, like on the chest up there too. It's like, dude, they are so freaking beautiful. And they look so freaking beautiful. And then when he did his missile drop kick up there, how he freaking hangs, he just hangs in there and then just hits you off. I was like, oh my God, it's so awesome.
I mean, we were talking about the ace Tanahashi there, but man, Okada is probably my actual still favorite wrestler in New Japan, man. He is just so great to watch his matches, man. I mean, all these guys in New Japan are awesome in their own way, but Okada matches are just special to me because I know I'm going to see like this textbook great, the moves executed so well, and they won't be executed as well by anybody else a lot of times. And that's because Okada's like that. It's just so awesome.
Yeah, he just looks so freaking good. Every move he does looks so freaking good.
Yeah, he is one of, I mean, they say Tanahashi is one of 100, but I mean, Okada might be one of 1,000, dude. So it's main event time for night one. Man, can you believe, tell us a little bit of Kota Ibushi's story going into this main event, man, because from what I understand, and you tell me if this is right, he's won the G1 tournament. He's made it to the G1 tournament final 3 times in a row.
Yeah. He's
actually won the event twice in a row. And so last year was the first time they unified the IWGP Heavyweight title and the IWGP Intercontinental title. So what happened last year?
So last year, pretty much, there was no way that he freaking couldn't win this time. Or if he didn't win, it was just going to be so freaking sad because he's always pretty much made it to the mountaintop and was never able to get the title. Every single time he puts on a great show, every single time he goes through every single tournament, G1 and all this, puts on incredible matches, goes up to the limit, beats big names. He beats Okada. He beats Okada in the G1 freaking matches as well. So he's beating the top people, but it can just never go over and win the actual heavyweight title. Yeah. And it was just so sad. So that's why everybody wanted him to win. Every single person was just rooting for him because it was just like, it's like the whole Rudy thing. He's like, could just make it, just get that title for crying out loud already. Just do it. It was so great to see him. Like every single false freaking count was like, he's gonna win it. Oh no, he didn't win it. Oh my god! And then he's like, oh my god, he's actually gonna freaking not do it again. Oh my! I was on the edge of my seat every single time in that match.
I mean, it was so awesome. Yeah, I'm with you. Edge of my seat. I got somewhat spoiled, so I kind of like, oh no, I think I know what's gonna happen in the main event, but I wasn't 100% sure. So, but I was still. I know that's the one thing about.
So you got to get off that Facebook, man.
You got to get off the socials, man. With New Japan, it's really tough because obviously these matches happen at 2:00 in the morning our time. We're sleeping, we're working, doing what have you, so we don't get to watch it till later in the day, and it's just and it makes it's an effort. Like I was saying, it's not as easy as just clicking on the channels. Like you have to, set up your devices to stream on your TV. It's like WWE is like kind of like this McDonald's, like it's this global giant and gives you everything you expect every time because it's there. It's accessible. It's there. I mean, New Japan is like a small neighborhood spot, maybe it has terrible parking, it's a pain in the ass to get to, but it's worth the effort, because like the food is good and, the customer service is great, like it's worth it. That's why we make the effort to watch it, even if we might be a little spoiled even if we might know the outcome. But the reason we do watch it is to see what kind of story they were telling during that match. And you just said it, man. Is it going to be this time? Is it going to? No, it's a false finish. No, to me, Naito hit the Destino, his finisher, 3 times, man. He hit it 3 times. It's like, so it's just like, man, one more time and now it's really over. Now it's really going to be over. And you were just kind of waiting. Is he going to hit him with it? Is he going to hit him with it? Like, no. And you just got Ibushi's finisher is this where the opponent's on the ground. He grabs both of their arms and he lifts them up to his knee in a strong knee strike to the chin, essentially. The Komae.
Just imagine a V-trigger for Kenny Omega, but just a really stronger V-trigger.
But the strongest V-trigger you've ever seen. With force, intensity of just the momentum of being pulled to Ibushi and Ibushi momentum going, bucking back and coming forward with the knee strike. And it's just Komae. It's like this incredible knee finisher. And when he finally hit it, I mean, not even Naito kicked out of it. So it was just awesome.
What did you think of the finish where he already pinned him and he was just shocked and dazed and everything, and then out of nowhere he's trying to pin him again and trying to figure out, it's like, oh, what's going on? And Red Shoes over here telling him it's over, and you could just see it in his eyes, like, is it over? What's going on?
Right? I mean, dude, as we said, as strong wrestling marks, with knowing all the subtleties of working the arm, selling the arm the next night, that little subtlety, man, was like the coolest, most emotional thing to me, dude, because it was like, he can't believe he did it. I can't believe he did it either. We've done it together. Like, I'm with you. We did it. Like it's the dumbest thing, but being invested as a wrestling fan, that's why we're there. That's why we're watching it, Like, I thought that was such a cool little nod, man. That's so smart, whoever came up with that. I don't know if it was Ibushi himself, just like in the spirit of the moment, or like, because let's not give credit to Gato. We have to give credit to Gato here. I mean, he's the booker of New Japan. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he, dude, ever since I've been watching and he's booking these shows, man, I am thoroughly impressed with their storytelling and how they go about this long-term storytelling and how great it is. And I mean, I've got to be honest too, with the double titles, I always thought that was a weird gimmick, but it makes sense. I mean, New Japan has a lot of titles. And I love the way they refer to the titles as like these two different entities, almost like the IWGP Intercontinental title. The white strap, the white leather, is considered the strongest belt, and the IWGP Heavyweight title, the black strap, is considered the best. So it's like white is the strongest, black is the best, and it's like, wow, that's actually a cool way of referring to your double champion as something, because you are the strongest and the best. So it kind of makes sense, man, why they have the double titles. I don't know if they should. I kind of like it now after they're referring to it that way. I always thought it was weird to lug around 2 titles. Felt gimmicky, but now it makes sense. How do you feel about the 2 titles?
I like it as well. I don't know if it'll keep on going or stay relevant or kind of after Coda, because he's selling it the way you just said it. It's like the best title and the strong title, and he's right now he's saying that the way that the story is going, that he's becoming the wrestling god.
Yeah.
He's going to be the god of wrestling, and that makes sense with him. Now he has both titles. And of course, if you're the god of wrestling, how can you not have both titles? You have the strongest and you're the best. So that it makes sense. That goes with him, with the story that he's going with. It makes sense. After that, I really don't know, but it's going to be fun to see how it goes right now. And before anybody gets pissed off that's listening to us and screaming at the freaking phones or whatever, it's Kamigoye is the is this.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just looked it up right now real quick before somebody else is already screaming at us. How can you know now? It's like I couldn't remember off the top of my head, but I remember something like that. Yeah, it's the Kamigoye.
There are so many maneuvers, and unfortunately, sometimes the wrestlers' names, because they're not said so often, and you know how sometimes you tune out announcers because you're watching the matches. I mean, watching PWG DVDs, I turn off the announcers' commentary altogether because I want to listen to the match. Because one other thing too here about Wrestle Kingdom here at the Tokyo Dome, it was so weird to not hear fans at all. Like at all.
Yeah.
I mean, the Japanese audience is already a bit more quiet to begin with. They don't make much noise, but they do make noise, that you're going to hear an audible noise out of people for big spots. But for this, it was completely quiet except for some clapping, throughout because of COVID. And it's just like...
Yeah, they had rules.
Yeah. So it was really kind of cool to watch it this way because you could hear what the wrestlers were kind of yelling to each other. You could hear the profanities. You could hear, not really calling spots, which was great because I don't want to hear that. I don't think I'm sure they are calling spots, man, but I don't notice them, or maybe I'm not looking for them in New Japan because I'm just so invested in the storytelling.
Yeah, I don't really look for them either, honestly. With WWE, for some odd reason, I think it's funny to hear the spots, especially with there's some people that that you just hear them you can hear them on TV, Cena. Pretty much you can hear them saying it. So, but with New Japan, I honestly, I'm not really paying attention to that. I'm not trying to find, for some odd reason, I'm not trying to find faults in New Japan, and I am in the WWE most of the time. Like, oh, they messed up that and all this that. And with New Japan, I'm just like, they didn't get that right. Oh, but they're gonna do it again. All right, there he goes. He gets the suplex in. But with WWE, I'm all boo. Come on, what kind of professionalism is that? But New Japan's the same thing. So I'm just like, yeah, it's a bias thing. I think it's more of a bias thing, yeah.
Us wrestling marks are the worst, dude.
Pretty much.
All right, and that was just such a great cap for night one, man. That's why I was like, this is so great. I don't know how they're gonna top it. And I think I texted you. I texted you after watching night one. If Switchblade wins, we riot because there's no way you're gonna have Ibushi just freaking get to the mountaintop and drop it the next night to that goddamn dirty heel, the Jay White, the Switchblade. But we'll get to that right now. We're almost done here. Trust me, we're getting the go home sound real quick. But we got to get to night 2 real quick. We got to go through it. So night 2, a fatal 4-way from the New Japan Rambo there. Hey, your boy, what happened in this match?
Well, I mean, it was one of those things that I knew was going to happen. Chase Owens and Bad Luck Fale are both in, the Bullet Club. So they're going to both mess around and they're going to double team Bushi and Yano. That was obviously the thing that was going to happen. So it was a good match going back and forth. You knew that it was going to be fun because Yano's in it. Yeah, every time the Yano has it, it's always going to be a fun match. And
he's a good time guy.
Oh, yeah. It was one of those things where I was like, all right, well, how is he going to cheat? How is he going to cheat to win this? There's no way that he's not going to cheat. How is he going to cheat to win this? And it was just a great ender. It was just Bad Luck Fale and Chase Owens already pummeled pretty much Yano. And they were like, all right, let's pin him. And they go to pin, and what usually happens, they want to win. they're both saying, "Oh, if I win, it's gonna be a win for Bullet Club." No, if I win, it's gonna be for Bullet Club. And then while they're doing all this, that, and then out of nowhere, the ref comes in and goes, "Hey, what are you guys talking about? What?" And then the ref gets picked up by both Bad Luck Fale and Owens. Are like, "What are you can't talk to us like that." And here comes Yano right behind them. Bam! Double uppercuts right into the ball sack. And just that gets the pin. 1, 2, 3, rolls out, nothing happened, and he's like, "Hey, he's out," and just walks away laughing with double fisting 2 titles now of the freaking king of pro wrestling for 2 years straight now.
Oh man, Toru Yano, man, always hilarious to see how he's gonna steal that win. So it's so great. That was a good one. And also, the next match after that was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Title match. Ed Desperado from Suzuki-gun, man. I gotta say, I like his style, man. He has a good style, and I really like to see more of singles matches from him. But he's currently the tag team title holder with his partner Kanemaru, and they defended their titles against Taguchi and the first time that I'm seeing this guy, Master Wato. This guy's a child. How is he a master already?
Yeah, he's going to become the master. He's going to.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
what it is. This was an entertaining junior heavyweight tag team title match, man. What did you think of this one?
I thought it was fun. Because I've been watching El Desperado doing his own thing because Kanemaru got hurt before all this. He got hurt, so he was actually able to go into the best of the Super J's, and he was able to show off, his wrestling style. And he did great. So I was like, oh man, he's this guy. This is a guy you got to kind of keep an eye out for. He's going to be fun to watch. And it was fun to see. Taguchi's usual thing, freaking throwing butts everywhere. And it was
funky
just fun
weapon.
to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't really know much about Master Wato. I didn't really know. So I didn't know what to expect from him. But he's a good wrestler. I mean, I think he probably needs a little more time to kind of figure out, what to do. But it was a great match to see. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, that was a fun to watch. I agree with you. And we're going to see some stuff from Master Wato real soon because, like you said, a lot of potential. And that's what New Japan's really good about doing is, letting these plants grow, giving them the seeds, watering them properly, and just letting them thrive into nice plants, dude, because he's got potential, that kid. The next was probably the next match was probably probably my second favorite match of the night, besides the main event. Damn, dude, this card was good, but this match was great. It was the never open weight championship match between Shingo versus Jeff Cobb. Man, wow, there's two brick shit houses going after each other here. A la Makabe versus Ishii. All of Makabe versus Ishii here, man. This was somebody who's watching it for the first time sees this match is like, oh, this is strong style. That's what they're saying here. And man, what did you think of this match?
It was fun. It was one of those matches where the never open weight title matches never freaking, they're never not a bad one to watch, especially with Jeff Cobb. And Jeff Cobb's a big man that can move around, but this time he just showed he was a strong style freaking wrestler. They were throwing each other around, throwing so many freaking hits. Like, I was like, oh my God, how are they not hurting? Like, how are they not actually freaking standing up? How do they keep on standing up? I mean,
are they not dead?
Yeah, dude, it was just so freaking crazy. They were throwing each other around like crazy. Jeff Cobb was throwing around freaking Takagi so many times, and you can tell they were actually hurting. A couple of times you could see he was really wincing, like, oh my God, he's pushing him. And after the press conference event, Takagi was even saying he pushed him to his limit. It was one of those things that Jeff Cobb is such a great wrestler, a powerful wrestler that just he's not gonna hold back a hit, and it just you feel it. So, but luckily he won, though he was able to defeat him. But it's gonna be great because he called him out. He said he wants to wrestle him again. So it's gonna be another great match to see.
And talking about challenges down the road, Shingo is already showing he's gonna challenge Tanahashi next. So I mean that's gonna be great to see how those two share the ring together. I mean because Shingo, man, He's got that strong style, and I'm worried for the ace. Not going to lie. A little worried for the ace.
I would be a little worried too, man. It's going to get pretty rough.
Yeah, man. Hey, be careful out there, man. He can handle himself. He's 1 of 100. He can do it. The next match here was, another special singles match, because that's all there are now, because there's not that many titles, but there are a lot of titles. Was a special singles title match between Sonata and Evil. Man, once again, subtleties. Did you realize they were both wearing the same gear? Like, they were wearing like matching gear, like former tag team champions together, former faction mates, now rivals, wearing the exact same gear as each other in a match against each other.
It was one of those things where they've been together for so long with Los Ingobernables. Such a great freaking tag team match. I mean, such a great tag team duo that it's kind of one of those things when you see them kind of wearing the same thing, it doesn't look different. It's just kind of weird that they're actually wrestling against each other, honestly. And it was always great to see them wrestle against each other in G1, because once in a while they would wrestle each other, because they're trying to, both of them are going to try to win, the G1 to kind of get a singles match for the title. But it was a great match. I thought that it was a great story told for a good while. It was Evil, the first guy that was kind of big in Los Ingobernables, the right-hand man for freaking Naito for Los Ingobernables, and he backstabbed him. It was one of those things that, and then Sonata took that personal. He's like, you know what? We've been friends for so long. We've been, doing all this, and then I don't know, you're just going to backstab, and you're going to do that. And both of them have really good actual records. They're both really good, have actually winning records. So there was still a story behind that too, for them to actually fight, because the winner of this match was for sure going to face, the heavyweight champion, whoever was the heavyweight champion, whoever won, for the main event that night, was going to go and challenge the main event guy, because of their records they were the top record holders for winning. So they whoever won this, there was still something behind this other than just a grudge match of what the backstabbing. They were still the top guys to go after the heavyweight title.
Right. And we'll find out later what happened at the end of night 2. But after that match was the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship match. Ishimori versus winner from last night, Hiromu Takahashi. And man, the Takahashi still selling that arm, arm from the night before against Phantasmo. So, and I gotta say, man, Ishimori is this little brick shit house, man. Just little small package, little compact short guy, but muscular and freaking very reminiscent of Pac over in AEW. And he's just. So it's just very like, this guy is small, agile, but strong at the same time. He's got, a lot of muscles on him. So you're like, this guy is powerful and speedy and acrobatic. It's like, this guy's got all the tools, to be great. And he put on a great performance against Takahashi here. Did not expect this outcome, man. I really thought Ishimori was going to pull this one out, man. What did you think of this match?
I think I thought it was a great match, but yeah, following what you said, I thought that Takahashi was done for. He was just getting beat up. It was just, he was able to go in and keep on going, but every single time it's like, man, he's getting beat up. I don't know if he's going to be able to do this. It's just last night's match just with Phantasmo just kept on getting him and just took out all the power that he had just to finish that one. I don't know how he's going to finish this one. But he was able to squeak through and get the win, and it was to me it was still a great ending, because he fought back from a horrible injury, and still showed that he can still do it. And then first night put in such a great show, such a great match, and then the next night did the same exact thing and be able to win it. And it was like, it just shows why he was the Super J Cup winner, why he was the one that won that, and then also now why he's the junior heavyweight champion. It's like, it makes sense.
Yeah, great great match. I mean, I know every match I say is, oh, that was my favorite match next to the heavyweight title, to the main event. No, that was my favorite match beside the main event. Now I can say this was actually my favorite match. It was the main event of the night, and that's Ibushi defending against the Switchblade Jay White. Man, dude, once again, I thought I got spoiled, but I wasn't sure. But I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm going to watch this match. Obviously, I got to see actually what happens. And when this match went, believe it, and I'll tell you the time, it went 48 minutes. And it kind of felt, once again, a lot of times these matches kind of feel long. A lot of times they don't. But this one didn't feel long. I realized it was long because I was watching it. I'm like, oh man, this one's still going on. Like, trust me, I'm enjoying it, but I'm like, holy shit, what is going to happen here? Is Jay White? From watching this match, I just realized how great how great of a heel Jay White is. He is such a slippery goddamn heel. He does these little things with Gato at ringside, who, he gets him to, like, he tells the referee, oh, back him up. He's not going to be involved. Like, come on, Gato, you back up. Jay White is telling Gato to back up. Don't get involved. Mm-hmm. And as soon as he's out of the way, he tells the referee to get distracted. The referee's distracted. Gato gets in there and starts getting shots in on Ibushi. And then Jay White comes back to a fallen Ibushi at the apron. He's like, oh, you weren't involved, right? Like, come on. I told you, don't get involved, Gato. Jay White is so slippery, man. It's like those little things a great heel would do, getting his manager involved and saying, no, we're not getting, we're all on the up and up. We're all on the up and up here, ref. And then at one point, I think 20 minutes into the match, Bushi just going to work on Jay White. And at one point, Ibushi does this great flipping into that gear where nothing hurts him because he's so pissed, mm-hmm. which is a great face thing to do, a great baby face thing to do. Like, I'm just so amped now, I'm gonna start taking it out on you. He starts beating the shit out of Jay White. Jay White just comes in from running, calling out of the ring like a scolded dog, and he comes back into the ring, and then he says, just pin me. He just says, just pin me, I can't take it anymore. And I'm like, that's such a good heel tactic. I don't think I've really seen recently or ever. Have you ever seen a heel do something like that? Like, just, what, I just pin me. I don't want anymore.
Really, honestly, it actually caught me by surprise when I saw that. I was like, wait, what? He's like, just come on, whatever. And I'm like, I know he's going in. He's just trying to take the momentum off of the whole, pretty much Super Saiyan freaking
Super Saiyan Ibushi.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the only way I could think about it. He just literally just goes into another form, and you just pretty much anything you do to him, he does nothing, and then he just beats the hell out of even a burst of just attacks and flips. So. And it just kind of cut off that power that he had. He's like, oh, I'm done, pin me, and everything like that. And he was able to trick him and fool him. And it was just a great, it's kind of like what you call Triple H, like a cerebral assassin. You don't know what's going to happen next. It's just beautiful timing. It's like, it makes you think that you're perfectly fine. Everything's working well. And then out of nowhere, he gets you, and you're like, oh crap, that was pretty nice.
Yeah, and it's just, after seeing this, I was like, man, Jay White is such a great heel. I appreciate him so much more. And I appreciate his heel tactics, but I'm like, he better not win. He better not goddamn win. He better not win. Ibushi's my champ, goddammit. And then when Ibushi got that Komae, when he hits it, man, it's just, I'm like, yes, Ibushi's still champ. He is still wrestling god. He is still the champion we deserve, the champion that we need, the champion we deserve right now. And it's so great. Like you were saying, he's like Rudy, like, is he finally going to get to the mountaintop? And he's there. He's kind of like the perfect champion, I think, for this, like, not to sound super cheesy or whatever, but like the champion for 2020, 2021, like the one we need to get us, like, that there's going to be hope yet, guys. We're going to get through all this bullshit together. This champion's going to get us through. Like, it's so dumb, but like, that's how I correlated everything, man. It's like, all this, that's why I said all is right in the world right now. Meanwhile, the world is burning. I
think it would have been, it was great to see, Ibushi win, but it would have been insane to actually see Jay White win.
Yeah.
I would have been. I think it would have been in that, for me, the feeling of how the Undertaker losing. It's just like, how can this happen where he's been working so hard for this? He won night one in such a great match with Naito, and to lose it the next day, like, it's just like, oh my god, that's so horrible. It would be so insane. Like, what? Why would you do this? But it was great to see him win. It was so much fun. It was a match where, like I said, it wasn't just a physical match. It was a mental match. It was so freaking great. And 48 minutes is a freaking long time to be doing just great spots, great wrestling, and it was just a great story. And it was so much. It was a 5-star match for sure.
Oh man, I would even give it the Dave Meltzer 7 stars Tokyo Dome rating. I mean, think about it. Ibushi wrestled 48 minutes after wrestling the night before 31 minutes against Naito, man, to win the titles. So It's just, Ibushi is the guy. He is the wrestling god right now. It's so freaking cool right now what's going on at New Japan. And I mean, I'm telling you, 2 nights of just great wrestling, man. How did we get so lucky?
I don't actually have the slightest idea. We paid 999 yen to watch this, so that's how we got it.
And worth every yen? Is that what they're called?
Oh no,
dude, it's so worth it. And like I made the analogy earlier, yeah, it's an effort. You have to do a little bit of work to get to it. You have to go make sure you subscribe to New Japan World on Google Chrome because it translates for you, the Japanese to English. And but it's worth it. It's so worth it because the wrestling, and like I was saying before, like, yeah, you might know who wins even because it's hard to watch it at 2:00 in the morning live, but it's just great storytelling to see the matches. Like, even the matches, knowing the outcome, it's still cool. I mean, yes, it's obviously better to see it live, but it's just still cool to see, man. It's so cool. And they're already building up. New Year Dash was the night after Wrestle Kingdom. That's kind of like the big Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. That's how they start up new angles in WWE. So New Japan, no exception. Similar style. Like I mentioned to you, we're going to see Shingo take on maybe Tanahashi next. In that same main event, they pretty much set up the next challengers for Ibushi, which is of course Sonata. Which Sonata came out, right after night 2, after he was victorious over Jay White, and just in a nice suit. Sonata comes into the ring after the match, nice suit, kind of congratulates him, shake Ibushi's hands, and says, "We're going to do this again." And Ibushi says, whenever that happens, I'll be ready. And it's just like, that is so great how New Japan does that. Like, there's not this big promo or, this big storyline of, well, he's, I'm going to wrestle you because you had sex with my girlfriend who's dead in the casket, like Katie Vick. It's not like that in New Japan. It's based on wins and losses. Anytime I can bring up Katie Vick for you, I do. You notice that, right, Rick? Because that's Triple H's best storyline ever.
Oh man, that was so never. What the hell? Okay, sure. You guys want to do that?
Hashtag never forget. Don't make me bring up your favorite wrestler, Mark Henry, and his storyline with Mae Young, because I will bring that up too.
Which one do you think is worse?
Dude, I don't know. I mean, one can happen. Both equally gross, man. I don't know. I gotta say 1A, 1B for my pick. Sorry, we're talking New Japan here. We're talking Ibushi versus Sonata next.
But if you want crazy storylines, you gotta go with WWE.
We gotta wait for Sunny. Next time we have another Lucha Royale, it'll be real soon. We'll talk Royal Rumble for that. Then we'll go back to WWE. Maybe this is too marky for some wrestling fans, man. But I know they're not. I know it's not. You definitely know it's not. Wrestling fans, man, we're big marks. And I just gotta say, you gotta check out New Japan if you're a real wrestling mark who's into WWE. AEW is like the closest thing you can get to New Japan right now. And it's like the American version, I guess you would call it, of New Japan, because there's so many guys who were in New Japan who are now in AEW. It's, I mean, I don't know about the TV production. I would say the quality of New Japan is probably even a little bit better, like TV wise.
I think so. It's actually it's a little bit better. The cameras they don't change as much as WWE. WWE just changes the camera angles over and over and over. I'm actually happy that they don't do that zooming in thing anymore when they're when they're stomping on somebody. I have no idea why they did that for like a little bit. They started zooming in to like I guess add more of an effect that it's stomping on. But
that's
it
like
just
the old ECW
it was
style.
Annoying. Yeah, it was like so annoying. But no, New Japan
it's to make
great.
You feel the effect of the impact. Yeah.
Yeah. To me, it just gave me a headache. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Just zooming in, and I was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a little bullshit. But and then also big storyline too is Takahashi is going to challenge Sho. It looks like they're building that from Roppongi 3K, Sho and Yo. Mm-hmm. I was remiss. Like, where is Yo during this? And like apparently he's got an ACL injury.
Yeah, it took a pretty bad ACL injury, which kind of sucks. But they were actually doing really well as a tag team. They were moving on up. There was right under freaking Rocky Romero, which is another great wrestler. Mm-hmm. Such a great guy to see. And it was going a good way. And then he got freaking ACL ripped, and that kind of stopped him. But Sho was able to step up and start doing his own thing, and he's doing it really well.
Yeah, man. He's going to take on the junior IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion at some point. So these are all the storylines that are being built out of New Year Dash. And the other big storyline, too, is the faction of the Empire. Will Ospreay, the Great O'Khan, Jeff Cobb, and B. Presley are now referred to as the United Empire. So that's interesting. So, and they just so you know, they killed a guy. they killed Tenzan, and he had to be stretchered out after the match because they're ruthless now, not to be taken lightly. So, big news, guys. Tenzan's dead.
Oh man, what happened with poor Grandmaster? He's not going to be able to do anything. Wato, that was his mentor.
Oh, that's right.
How's he going to learn? Man, well, how's he going to become
Kojima's got to step in.
Jesus. Well, there you go. Now Wato has somebody to avenge.
Wato looks like he's setting up toward Bushi out of Ingobernables de Japón.
Okay.
So I mean they're gonna have that rivalry there too because in that main event at New Year Dash, Bushi got the win over Wato. So I mean New Japan. I'm telling you, we keep harping on this, but it's great because all these wins and losses matter. Like you just said, Wato's gonna have to avenge Tenzan's death essentially, and it's just like all these little things, all these nuances matter, and it's not gonna be this storyline or promos cut for 20 minutes. That's gonna be during a match. Our match is after match is gonna happen. They're gonna make challenges or press conferences like sports. Press conferences, which is so nuts. Another interesting storyline, what's going on after the press conference of night 2, after Jay White lost to Ibushi, he says he's going to quit New Japan. He's not going to, he's just going to quit wrestling, not New Japan specifically, quit wrestling. So is he really going to quit? Rick, your thoughts?
I don't think so. But I mean, the promo was cut really well. I mean, he did a great freaking promo right there. He was sick and tired of it. He's given so many years of his life. I think he said he was in New Japan for 8 years and he feels like he's unwanted and everything like that. So it was cut great. It was great. He put it all out there. He felt horrible. He's missed his family. And for nothing, nobody likes him. Feels like he's not getting the set, what he deserves. I thought it was a great one. I thought it was great. He was talking about how his contract's going to be up already for New Year's Dash, and he's going to wrestle if they want him to wrestle. But that's it. I'm done. I'm tired of you guys not appreciating me. So I think it was a great promo. I don't think he's going away, but it's a great promo.
Of course not. Yeah. Work. Oh, that's a work. That's a shoot. That's typical Marks, us claiming that. But no, it's a great story that's being told, which is what we keep saying. You got to appreciate this. And when he eventually does come back, it's going to make so much more. It's going to mean so much more once he does come back. It's like, see, I want my respect and my appreciation, and I'm going to earn it from you guys this time. It's like but he has already earned it. I mean, like I was just putting him over during his performance on that night. But what is his definition of our appreciation mean? I don't know. We have to wait and see when he does come back. Like it's just such great freaking storytelling once again by New Japan, man. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, because they take their time.
It takes a year. It takes a year sometimes for the story to be told. Look at Ibushi. It took 3 years for him, dude. So I mean, and that's what makes it worth it. That's why we get emotionally invested. And that's why I hope you've been emotionally invested listening to us talk for about an hour or so during this podcast. Rick, man, it's always great to talk pro wrestling with you. We usually do it at our day job, so it was nice to do it in front of a microphone this time. And next time we'll have Donald and Sonny talk even more WWE stuff because our good buddy Clipper Pablo's favorite wrestler Goldberg is going to be at WWE Royal Rumble. How the irony, I can't let that irony go by. Wrestle Kingdom night 1, the same night as WWE Monday Night Raw. And what do we get? We get the new crowning of a new wrestling god in Kota Ibushi, the first time ever him winning the title. And what does WWE do on the other end? They bring back Bill Goldberg. That's just such contrast. That'll show you.
They got so much talent that they could push. And why are you giving Bill Goldberg
Gilbert?
Gilbert.
I prefer Gilbert at this point.
Yeah, that would be actually funny to see freaking him getting Claymored. That would be funny. But why are you giving Goldberg a shot? It doesn't make sense. You have Keith Lee that you're trying to push. It looks like they're trying to push, and there's no reason why not to push him for the heavyweight. He's such a great talent. He's good on the mic. He can wrestle. It's a great show. He's already wrestled Drew McIntyre, so that's going to be a great match. And then putting in Gold, I don't understand. I don't understand why. Doesn't make sense.
You gotta pop a rating, god damn it!
But you're gonna pop the rating with Goldberg when
he thinks
last couple matches weren't that great.
Oh, they were terrible. Call them what they were. They were terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, all it does is hurt McIntyre either way. It hurts him whether he beats Goldberg, like, okay, you beat up an old man. And if you lose to him, you lost to an old man. Your title reign kind of sucked. Like, to your point, why wouldn't you build Keith Lee up a little bit more, even though he's lost to McIntyre already? Give him another shot. Oh, he's lost again. He keeps coming up short. He just can't get over that hump. And when he finally gets over the hump at a big like SummerSlam or Survivor Series, it'll matter so much more because he finally did it. Look at what New Japan does. We talked about this for the past hour, god damn it. And why did it matter so much when Ibushi won it? Because he's lost before getting there. That's what matters. Finally the culmination of everything. And this is the culmination of the end of this podcast. Thank you so much for listening to Westbox Scores Lucha Royale Special. Thanks, Rick. Sorry, man. I popped myself with my terrible Howard Finkel there.
You do it better than I do, so I'm not even going to try it. It's horrible.
See ya.
Later.